Hello there, Jilly here, talking about self-sabotage. By the way, well, it's morning here. You might be reading this, listening to this a little bit later, but anyway, you're very welcome. I'm glad you're here because I'm talking about self-sabotage. So if you find yourself sometimes just taking one step forward and doing really well in something, and then the next minute, week, month, you've taken 2 steps back, so that's like you lose some weight, you feel good about yourself, and then pile it all back on in a week. You have some savings, you manage to get a bit of money together, and then just something happens, load of extra bills come in and it all gets blown. Might be that you find a new partner and things go really well and it's all smoochy and coochie, and you think, yeah, this is going really well, and then you do something to really mess it up. And you know, if you look back on these times, it's not conscious, is it? You don't suddenly think, oh, do you know what, I'm going to pile all that weight on and make myself feel rubbish, or I'm just going to mess up my opportunities with that relationship and I'm going to behave really badly and call something out and just really mess it up. I'm not going to you don't sort of think consciously, oh, I haven't drunk for a week, I'm not going to drink for a month, and on the second week go, do you know, I'm going to really mess up my intention here, and it just doesn't happen like that. It just doesn't work. So how does that work? Well, it comes from what we call subconscious beliefs, our subconscious mind. So we've got our thinking mind, our rational mind, but we're really dominated by the habits and thoughts and beliefs that sit in our unconscious mind, and that just act like, literally like habits. So we don't have to remember how to make a cup of tea over and over and over again. We just know how to do it. And it's exactly the same thing like swimming or running or walking. Yeah, you learn how to do it, and you can do it in lots of different situations. And guess what? We learn how to mess up in lots of different situations, and it just happens. So these are the reasons why this happens. Now, I've already mentioned to you that the sort of excuse me, the foundation of this stuff is all about subconscious patterns in our subconscious mind. And it's why willpower alone isn't really enough to keep a change of habit, to get a real transformation in the way that you think, feel and act, the way that you behave in life, the way that you show up. We need those 3 things to change. So we can change one thing, we can change the way we think. So, right, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that. And guess where all the effort is? In not doing it. And the subconscious mind doesn't listen to that. So the conscious mind doesn't have it doesn't have that really good dialogue with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is king and he thinks he's in the drive, or she thinks she's in the driving seat, okay? So where do we get these habits on? Well, very often we pick them up when we're young, and there are 3 main areas that I see with my coaching clients over the last 20 years that predispose us to self-sabotage. So instead of stepping up, what I call up leveling, really expanding our life so we can do more, take more opportunities, go deeper into relationships, find really good relationships if we haven't, found that one yet. And that is, we don't think we're worthy. Yeah? So it's like a bit of a not good enough habit going on. And that can come from so many places. It can come from a bullying teacher, caregivers when we're younger telling us we're not good enough or not giving us kind of like great attention. It can come from a whole pile of different things, and it's good not to blame. If it's there, it's there. Just observe it, be aware of it. So if you feel that you're constantly doubting yourself, if you feel that you're often comparing yourself, you're often saying, oh, I'm not the same as them, I'm not intelligent enough, I'm not as bright, and you often sort of hold yourself back. Ooh, guess what? We got a not good enough belief in the pesky shadows, which is causing the self-sabotage. So what happens is whenever we start to do whatever, lose the weight, find the man, find the girl, have a bit of extra money, do well on not smoking or drinking, whatever it is, there's that habit inside which goes, no, 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 no. I don't deserve that. And that's uncomfortable to feel that expansion, to feel worthy enough of that deep love, of feeling healthy in my body. The unconscious mind goes, no, 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 it's not having it. And so it forces you to drop back to the old habits. It's horrible, isn't it? But that's what happens. The second reason for this, for people adopting this self-sabotaging, not consciously, it's not a blame thing. And if you're saying, oh God, yeah, I've got that, don't blame yourself. It's just accept it. It's part of you, but that can change, okay? Which is why I'm here. So the second part of this is where you feel that there is a fear, a sort of a fear of success. That's how I'd call it. So sometimes if you've got a little bit of that lack of worth thing going on, or that you've just, for all sorts of reasons, not really expanded fully in this life. Let's not look too hard on the reasons. What can happen? Yeah, what's Katie saying? Yes, I wish I could get into my subconscious mind and pull it out. Well, you know that there are ways that we can do that. There are ways that we can work with those patterns, Katie. You know, it's really, yeah, I've been doing it for 20 years now. So glad you're here. So this fear of success is if we're used to staying a little bit small and a little bit, you know, kind of hold ourselves back a bit. The thought of the expansion and the thought of being successful, being, I don't know, you're right, a body weight, a level of health, having the ideal relationship, having more money, having a good relationship with whatever, that little belief plays out with that fear of success. How will I cope? Will I lose my friends? Will people like me? Will people still love me? So again, we've got this over-identification on other people and on other things and external stuff, instead of really following and sitting with what feels right, with what feels right for you. It's almost like with this self-sabotage, it's really difficult to get to this truth point, who you really are, which is a divine soul. But more on that another day. Anyway, the third thing is that what we do is we reflect what other people want us to be. So again, it crosses the other two, where we've got that not good enough thing going on and fear of success. When we reflect what other people want us to be and do, what happens is that we're frightened of the change. We take on board if someone else thinks we're rubbish, or someone else thinks we're not good enough, or the teachers at school say you were a slow learner, or all of that. Then we comply to that, we mirror it, especially if that stuff happened when we were kids, because we just mirror what other people think about us a lot of the time. Guess what? It's not true. It's just thoughts and it's habits. So the way to become really aware, to start this journey, as I've said many times to people who work with me first time, is, oh, thank you for the smileys, is to start to recognise it. Start to work with it. And what I'd love you to do is to come and join my group, Your Empowered Life. The links are within this, and we're going to be talking a lot about how to master and come out of these subconscious habits, because I really want you to take on board, it's not you. You weren't born like it, it's something you've learned, and just as easily as it can be learned, these things with the right techniques can be unlearned. But the first thing is to start recognizing where you self-sabotage, where you do it, and what it means, what you make those events mean, and see if they fit into any one of those three categories. So yay, thank you for watching, girls. If there's anything you want to just chat through, just put it up and I will go straight onto Facebook, but I'm going to put this out. So I'm going to finish here and now. Thanks very much for being with me, but I'm going to go straight onto the chat box now.